And a very good morning, everybody. I'm Tom Jordan. A lot of people out there tonight, 100,000 in the South Bay, 300,000 in Balboa Park, celebrating the holiday season.
December night's another free event. Always a great time out there.
Great time of year. All right, John, thanks so much. A raging garage fire in Nestor. The video shows the flames and smoke here. Look at this. The home is in the 2000 block of Ilex Avenue. It started when a car inside the garage caught fire. If you look at some of these companies that had stronger than expected earnings, companies like Nike, doing quite well unexpectedly, but then you see the housing market really tanking. Then what's happening overseas? $1 billion seems like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money when compared to how much money was lost over the past 4 years in relation to mortgages. We're talking trillions of dollars. $1 billion, is that really going to make an impact?
It's a drop in the bucket.
Closing arguments are scheduled this morning in the trial of the man accused of opening fire and wounding 2 children at a Carlsbad elementary school. Is surging in every single poll that's been out today. It's tax time. Did you know that? And there's some pretty good news for anybody dragging their feet when it comes to filing to pay those taxes. These 3 whistleblowers here, they had to actually go outside the chain of command to get anyone to pay attention to this. Were their immediate supervisors not taking this seriously when they initially came to them?
Them on 401k plans other than the police department is something unthinkable.
Why is it unthinkable to propose a 401k plan to a union member, but not unthinkable to propose a 401k plan to the average working family who is not a union member? That's the question.
But that is not what I said.
That's the question I'm asking
you. Okay, well, as long as you're saying you said it was unthinkable. I didn't say it was unthinkable.
You said it was unthinkable.
I said that
tomorrow's a big day, Super Tuesday. Inundated with phone calls and emails, both in support and in opposition. It looks better than it feels, I think, outside. Dave Scott, when can we turn the heat off? It's been pretty darn cold.
But baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been...
How did this song end? Did she stay?
Well, he basically says don't go because you'll catch pneumonia and die.
Yeah. But so really, he wants her to stay for other reasons.
We don't know. I think she stayed because he scared her with the whole pneumonia thing.
There needs to be a part 2 of that song, I think. After all these decades, I want to find out what happened.
Okay.
And in relation to the violence there in Israel and Gaza, there's some brutal video making its way around the world right now. It purportedly shows members of Hamas in Gaza torturing and killing Palestinians accused of spying for Israel. The difference between an innocent civilian and a probable threat is key. NTSB will investigate, but hard to believe when you look at the flames there and the smoke and the fact that this was a plane that crashed, that they were able to walk away from it. Look at that. Kamala Harris, the Attorney General of California, also Jan Goldsmith with the City of San Diego. Is this something that you have found is happening specifically in California? This is the gentleman who is responsible for keeping this tree in place. Are you prepared in case something needs to happen? Nature takes its course. It's something most people don't think about when they think of the country of Israel, that there are actually surfers there surfing on the Mediterranean Sea. But it turns out there's a lot of surfers in Israel, about 25,000 people, and it's opening up a new dialogue between Christians, Muslims, and the Jews. Good morning, San Diego. I'm Tom Jordan.
And I'm Alexis Del Chiara. Welcome to your Black Friday. It is November 23rd.
The ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is holding this morning, but the angry words are still flying back and forth. We've got the very latest. 2
people are dead and dozens are injured after a fog bank caused a pile up in Texas. We'll show you the pictures.
And it is time for shopping. Today is Black Friday. We've got the latest on the shopping frenzy here in San Diego.
This is Good Morning San Diego.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
It was a wonderful day, and I hope you did as well.
Dinner was yesterday. Today, it's time for shopping.
It certainly is. Black Friday has begun, and KUSI's John Soderman has more about this holiday shopping frenzy. A suspect in an attempted murder is dead this morning following an early morning high-speed chase through Pacific Beach. Police say the driver allegedly shot his lover in the back of the head earlier in the month in Green Valley, Missouri. The woman survived, and the suspect fled in her stolen Chevrolet minivan. Police were notified by a Green Valley detective that the suspect's cell phone had been tracked to Pacific Beach. Police surrounded the minivan, and a 45-minute-long standoff took place. Officers eventually discovered the suspect had taken his own life by shooting himself in the chest. A man is recovering in the hospital this morning after being stabbed several times. This attack happened last night at about 10 o'clock at a party in the Midway District. The victim was stabbed several times in the chest. Instead of getting himself to the hospital, he drove to his Pacific Beach home where his wife found him and called for help. The man's injuries are not life-threatening, and investigators are still trying to determine the motive of his attacker. Feeding America joined forces with the new Children's Museum and the House of Blues yesterday, hosting Thanksgiving dinner for some of San Diego's homeless population. There were 2 locations downtown providing the meals, the new Children's Museum on Island and the House of Blues on 5th Avenue. Each venue fed 600 families, with most of the food donated by Ralph's and Food for Less.
Their hands are on the trigger.
And in relation to the violence there in Israel and Gaza, there's some brutal video making its way around the world right now. It purportedly shows members of Hamas in Gaza torturing and killing Palestinians accused of spying for Israel. Hamas leaders are surprisingly claiming responsibility for this grotesque video, saying the men were giving away locations of Hamas rocket sites, but headlines around the world are now calling them savages.
They were eating turkey and pumpkin pie down here on Earth. They were celebrating up in space.
NASA astronaut Kevin Ford is aboard the International Space Station along with 2 Russian cosmonauts. He says that even though the Russians don't have Thanksgiving, it's customary for crew members to celebrate each other's holidays. Ford says the Thanksgiving spread is just like a traditional dinner, but on the space station, foods are either freeze-dried or thermo-stabilized. So probably not as good as we enjoyed yesterday here back on Earth, but still nice to celebrate up in space.
Freeze-dried turkey.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Scott, I think that if you put enough cranberry sauce and gravy on it, no matter what, it'll taste fine.
Probably works out.
Yeah, and I have a feeling I know what
The granddaddy of all the Thanksgiving Day meals is the annual Salvation Army Thanksgiving Day Feast at Golden Hall. They have been serving there for 29 years. Nearly 2,000 needy San Diegans were served there yesterday, but this year the stories of those in need are changing. Here's KUSI's Steve Bosch to explain.
But baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been...
How did the song end?
So
Did she stay?
Well, he basically says don't go because you'll catch pneumonia and die.
Yeah. But
So
really, he wants
that's-
her to stay
that's where
for
we
other
leave
reasons.
It. We don't know. I think she stayed because he scared her with the whole pneumonia thing.
There needs to be a part 2 of that song, I think.
I
After all
agree.
these decades,
You're so
I want
right
to find out
about
what
that.
happened.
Okay.